The Montana Television Network. Montana This Morning continues on Montana's News Leader.
After a death in the Thai soccer team rescue mission, there are new concerns about how to get the boys out. I'm Laura Podesta with details on the latest plan to save them.
And President Trump touched down in Montana and campaigned hard for Matt Rosendale's challenge to U.S. Senate Jon Tester. What the president said in Great Falls, that's all coming up.
Meantime, here at 6:30, our top story this half hour, international headlines. There's been a death in a rescue operation to save a soccer team trapped in a cave in northern Thailand.
The 12 boys and their soccer coach have been stuck for about 2 weeks now. CBS's Laura Podesta has details on the problems facing those workers.
A Thai rescuer died Thursday night from a lack of oxygen, the first death in the ongoing efforts to rescue the trapped soccer team. The 38-year-old was a former member of Thailand's Navy SEALs and was working as a volunteer. He passed out underwater after placing oxygen tanks along a potential exit route. We will not stop our mission. We won't let his life be in vain, the Thai SEAL commander said. The death underscores the dangers the rescuers are facing as they try to save the boys.
We try everything for the best way to help them.
Matt Fitzgerald is a diver with Australian forces in Thailand.
It's quite challenging, obviously. There's zero visibility, it's a confined space.
The 12 young soccer players and their coach have been trapped since June 23rd, when heavy rains flooded the caverns, blocking their exit. Crews have already pumped out more than 34 million gallons of water. And they're drilling through rocks to make room for more hoses. Portions of the potential escape route would require the boys to swim underwater with dive masks to breathe. But if crews can quickly lower the water level so the boys can keep their heads above water, Thai Navy SEALs would float them through the flooded passages until they reach dry land and can walk out of the cave. But more rain is on the way this weekend. Laura Podesta, CBS News, New York.
Now, some of the boys are said to be showing signs of weakness and malnutrition, prompting rescue crews to pump oxygen into the chamber where they are trapped. But their spirits seem to be high. The Navy SEALs say that the young boys are asking about the outcome of some of the World Cup games.
Of course they are. They're soccer players.
Yes.
That's it. I just cannot imagine what they're going through right now, and I can't imagine what it's like. 1,000 people working on that from all over the world. I can't imagine how terrifying it must be for them and for those kids. So
I mean, like you said, I mean, they're being positive. They're asking about what's going on in the World Cup. I mean, that's just awesome.
That's great. And as long as they can keep their mind off of that and the fact that they're how many ever feet they are below ground, stuck behind a wall of water. Crazy stuff. Can't imagine.
Crazy.
No, I'll take what we're dealing with here in Southwest Montana.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, dry weather. They're expecting rain down there, but we have dry weather. I mean, unfortunately, that increases other risks for us. Heat advisory out for northeastern parts of the state, but what that does is that increases the fire risk when we have a period of warm and dry weather. Red flag warnings out for parts of the High Line around Cut Bank and Glacier National Park because they're only expecting humidity values to be out 15 to 20% with 25 to 35 mile per hour winds. Not a good mix if you want to prevent fires. Across the state right now, we're in the 50s here in southwest Montana. It is much warmer in the northeastern part of the state where that heat advisory is at. And then here's your Bozeman Plainer. It's 54 right now, but we will be reaching 90 degrees by the end of the day. And then for Butte, temperatures right at that 50-degree mark, but upper 80s to around 90 for your high today. So the warmest year of 2018. We'll talk about that weekend and how long this dry and warm weather pattern will last. That's all coming up on Storm Tracker Weather.
Thanks, Carson. 6:33 now on this Friday. President Donald Trump spoke to a packed house of supporters Thursday in Great Falls. Thousands more stood outside, unable to get inside a full Four Seasons arena.
And the president came to Montana to promote Republican U.S. Senate candidate Matt Rosendale in his race against incumbent Democrat Jon Tester. But he also fired up the crowd with an hour-long monologue on his political accomplishments and political foes. MTN's chief political reporter, Mike Dennison, was at the scene in the Electric City.
President Trump hit the stage shortly before 4:30 p.m. and quickly went to the first order of business, promoting Matt Rosendale and bashing Senator Tester as an obstacle to the Trump agenda.
It's time to retire liberal Democrat Jon Tester.
Trump and other GOP speakers listed Tester's many sins, voting against the repeal of Obamacare, against Supreme Court Justice Neil Gorsuch, and against the Republican tax cut bill last year.
I see Jon Tester saying such nice things about me. I say, yeah, but he never votes for me. He never votes.
But the president also remarked on what he called 2 landmark veterans' health bills passed by Congress this year that Tester supported and helped write, a fact quickly noted Thursday by the Tester campaign.
Those are 2 bills that the president signed into law and were actually written by Senator Tester. So we were glad to hear that he was proud of those accomplishments and knew the impact on Montana's veterans.
20 minutes into the speech, Trump turned mostly to his own record, taking credit for a strong economy, job growth, and low unemployment. He also lauded his overtures to the likes of North Korean dictator Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin, and assailed our NATO allies as not paying their fair share of defense costs and killing us on trade. But he got perhaps his loudest ovations when he talked about stopping illegal immigration and securing the U.S. border.
A vote for the Democrats in November is a vote to let MS-13 run wild in our communities, to let drugs pour into our cities, and to take jobs and benefits away from our hardworking Americans, and we're not letting it happen. If you want to have a country, if you want borders, how about borders? Wouldn't it be nice to have borders?
Trump flew into Great Falls on Air Force One and brought Republican U.S. Senator Steve Daines and Congressman Greg Gianforte with him from Washington. Not long after the speech, he was back on the plane and jetting his way back to the East Coast. The president spoke loud and clear to his base here in Great Falls with an aggressive Put America First message. The question this November, however, will be how that plays with the entire electorate. Reporting from Great Falls, Mike Dennison, MTN News.
Now, Senator Tester spent the day in Billings talking to farmers and business people about the impact of Trump's tariffs.
Now, some of the people who traveled to Great Falls were there to show opposition to President Trump. MTN's Jonathan Ambarian reports on the protesters and how they interacted with Trump's supporters.
Here at Montana Expo Park, a protest area was set up for people who wanted to express opposition during President Trump's visit. Protesters chanted, sang, and carried signs. Many expressed concern with what they called hateful rhetoric from President Trump. Others showed support for Senator Jon Tester's re-election. Several hundred people were taking part at the height of the day. There were some heated words exchanged with Trump supporters, especially as people left the rally.
Hey, 2020, President Trump!
But some protesters said they took the opportunity to have civil discussions with people they disagreed with.
Absolutely, there's a lot of gray area here. It's not just black and white, but it's interesting to engage these people from the other side, so to speak.
I think overall it's been a very great opportunity for freedom of speech, civil dialogue. That one thing, I would say this is a success.
Law enforcement said overall they're very pleased with how smoothly the event went. In Great Falls, Jonathan Ambarian, MTN News.
Now, President Trump also received a big welcome to Montana from an unlikely source, Senator Jon Tester's campaign. Montanans for Tester placed an ad in 14 Montana newspapers and even running a statewide radio ad. The ad thanks the president and highlights the 16 bills Tester sponsored or co-sponsored that were signed by the president. It reads, quote, "Welcome to Montana, and thank you, President Trump, for supporting Jon's legislation to help veterans and first responders hold the VA accountable and get rid of waste, fraud, and abuse in the federal government. Washington's a mess, but that's not stopping Jon from getting things done for Montana," end quote. President Trump, by the way, did not respond to those ads.
And staying in politics, another Montana lawmaker is making a push to make desecration of the national flag illegal. Republican Congressman Greg Gianforte signed on to a House joint resolution seeking to prohibit physical desecration of the United States flag through a constitutional amendment. Now, just last month, Republican Senator Steve Daines put forward his constitutional amendment with the same objective. Around Bozeman, a few people shared their thoughts on the subject with MTN News.
Absolutely, and they should protect it. They should, because if not, where would freedom wind up being?
I think that there's a lot of people who've fought to make the flag, you know, a symbol of freedom and something that people can be proud of.
I feel like it's not really appropriate to burn a flag just because there's a lot of people that died because of the flag, so it kind of scorns them, but they also fought for the freedom to do what you want in this country.
Now, up until 1989, it was illegal to burn the flag in most states, but a Supreme Court ruling gave individual states authority on that action. We reached out to Democratic Senator Jon Tester for his comments on this, and if he falls in the line with fellow Montana lawmakers, but he never responded. So more to follow on that as well. And as a major portion of our country hits a heat wave, it is bad news for folks battling wildfires across the West. Stay with us in just a moment. We look at the heat wave forecast for those firefighters.
But first, here's Anthony Mason with a look at what's coming up at 7 o'clock on CBS This Morning.
Good morning. Ahead on CBS This Morning, the effort to rescue the Thai soccer team found alive in a cave turns deadly for one diver. We'll tell you about the plan to install a pipe to bring oxygen to the boys and lower the water level. And we'll introduce you to two women living next door to each other who find out in the most unconventional way they're long-lost sisters. See you at 7.